It's in the fucking like tagline of this thing. The smartest questions from the dumbest dude. We are. If you thought we're not dumb, we're fucking proving it today. Hello and welcome to the Answers of Lemon, the smartest icebreakers from the dumbest dudes. Did you have somebody whose first language is not English repairing your dryer this week? Did you need to fill awkward spaces in conversation with weird questions? Well, luckily for you, we've got you covered with the weirdest of the questions, featuring your god of odd, Connor.
I have returned. I have gone so many time zones away and calendar days away, and I'm back now. And I'm fully oriented to Pacific time on this day, October the 13th. It's a Sunday, just in case anybody wanted to know. And I know that, and I feel it in my body. And my body knows that, too.
Except if you're listening to it on a different date, remember, it's beamed straight to your ears, dudes.
Except for if it's on a different date. Yep, except.
Time is a fiction. The God of Odd does not exist in space-time.
Oh, good God, is it a fiction? I don't know. I don't know how my body knows to do this, but I was on a 10-hour flight coming home again, and I apologize for complaining about my extravagant travel plans.
Oh no, my life is too great. I get to go across the countries and travel places and then bitch about like a loser.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I could talk to you about all the beautiful art I saw and all the delicious food I ate, but you don't want to hear about that. Nobody really likes hearing about other people's vacations, I've found. So I'll tell you, I'll just complain, which everybody loves to hear about.
I'm your humble host, Evan.
10-hour flight. I didn't get up once. I just had a book in front of me. And flights that long, they just give you alcohol. I had 3 beers and I didn't get up a single time, and I had no need to. I just sat there the whole time.
What?
I just read a book for 10 hours, and my body was like, don't worry, dude. We'll just retain this fluid for you because we know that you don't have the ability to move freely about the cabin.
That's bonkers.
I don't know how it happened.
Yeah, because like fucking 30 minutes passed and I'm like, oh man, you gotta start holding it, bud. But secondly, I went to Ireland and I didn't get no booze.
Oh man, that's too bad.
No. The other thing was it was Lent. It was a Friday in Lent. And fun fact, non-Catholic listeners, a Friday in Lent, if you're a Catholic, means you can't eat meat. And also, we're going from Boston, Massachusetts, Catholic capital Massachusetts, to Dublin, Ireland, Catholic capital of Ireland. And they didn't have any non-meat options for food on the flight. On Aer fucking Lingus.
Not even a fish?
Not a fish. It was shepherd's pie and some chicken dish. I'm like, my dudes, I'm a vegetarian for all intents and purposes.
I need anything other than land meats. Those are not things that can sustain me on this day.
No. So I stole the Aer Lingus blanket that they give you that directly on the thing says do not remove from the aircraft, but I never noticed that because my sister said that I could take it. I was like, oh cool, free blanket.
Well, you had to eat something. Why not a blanket? That's not land meat.
Oh no, it was a gift. I got it from my sister. I stole it from my sister.
I'd say you're just a puppet in this, with her thefting strings telling you, no, go ahead and just take it.
No, I just steal for other people. I'm Robin Hood. Yeah, so you're already answering the most important first question of the week. How you been? Just get your bitches out. Let's go, bud.
Yeah, I mean, like, man, vacation's great. I had a very, very good time. Spent a lot of time with family members. I don't often see my wife's family, but yeah, and like I said, it was gorgeous and beautiful. And now I'm back to reality, sort of, just like rockily readjusting to waking up at midnight and being like, time to start the day. No, it is not. Nope. Don't do that. Don't do that. Whatever you do, if you start the day now, the day will never be done with you.
So, for your understanding, to listeners, I know that this is an audio medium, so you can't actually see. Connor has nice blue eyes, but with that, there is a little bit of like the crazy that comes with nice eyes. His eyes are so fucking manic right now. It's very entertaining. I'm just like, man, I am in some weird fucking limbo, and I'm talking to a boy right now.
I am gonna bring some energy today.
We haven't talked in a long ass time. I'm in less pain. Connor's in less reality. How's this gonna shake out? Find out this week on Dragon Ball Z.
So how you been, man? How are you doing?
Hang on, I gotta have some water.
That is one podcast host who isn't hydrating today.
Now that I have had water, I've mostly just been exercising to get my back in order, but who gives a shit about that? I don't. What has been going on with me is I've realized that I've gotten very into prosciutto.
Say more.
So you look at prosciutto and you're like, oh man, what is that? It's just fancy ham, right? What's so special about that? You know what's special about prosciutto? It's that it's fancy ham.
There doesn't need to be anything else about it. Hey, listen, this is a book you can judge by its cover, and it's fancy ham.
Because I didn't realize that what I wanted out of ham was both like prosciutto has more ham flavor, but it's not like the ham. Because like ham tastes kind of wet. Prosciutto has that like nice porkiness, and it's dry. I didn't know that I just want dry ham because it's not weird and wet, and your hands don't feel gross when you touch it, and you're just like, yeah, thinly sliced salty meat that goes great on a sandwich or pizza or straight into your mouth.
I do like prosciutto. I find it to be more fleshy.
Okay.
It's not like treated meat product. It's like scrape a layer.
If you were to take a mandolin to a pig.
Yeah, if you could just take the pig and au naturel, send it right through the slicer. That's so texture wise for me, it's a little bit more challenging than ham, which is like, that's food. They took the animal out of it and now it's food. Where prosciutto is more like, no, you're gonna have to deal with the fact that this used to run around. And
nope, not in the slightest. I got none of that. Maybe I just get more thinly sliced prosciutto than you.
Maybe I'm wrapping my prosciutto around too many things, and that adds like a bone element.
What? You're wrapping. Just eat the prosciutto, man. Why do you gotta wrap stuff with it? Just eat it.
Because tasty.
Why does everything gotta be a fucking ordeal for you? Just enjoy a thing.
Listen,
just go to the bathroom. You don't need to hold it for 10 hours. Just go to the bathroom. It's fine. You don't need to put yourself through hoops, dude. You're not a circus animal.
My body didn't ask me to go to the bathroom. I listened, and my body was like, I don't know, man. Ellipsis points. Figure it out later, I guess. Sit there and read. You're trapped in a cage. We'll suspend all biological processes. Prosciutto wrapped around stuff is just good, dude. You cook, you're giving me this hassle about wrapping stuff with prosciutto. But that's just ingredients put together. That's what cooking is.
Yeah, that's fair. I am more the type of person to cook by throwing things together as opposed to like organizing a thing.
Okay. All right. Well, I promise you, it's not the most strenuous cooking process out there to just take a sprig of asparagus and zoop.
Oh, but asparagus is good on its own.
That and so is prosciutto. And then you bring them together, and you're like, it's like a teeny tiny pig leg with asparagus.
You're one weird motherfucker, and I love you.
Man, I'm sorry.
Energy. This is going to be the worst listened to podcast that we've put out yet. Now, the closest that I get to like finagling a bagel when it comes to cooking stuff is doing the mac and cheese stuffed meatloaf from Cooking Comically.
That's pretty intense.
Yeah, but it's fucking worth it, man.
I can already taste the rivulets of fat that come out of the meatloaf that just drips into the mac and cheese on the inside, and it's just like a cavity.
Yeah.
I need to stop. I'm hearing it now. I need to stop. I need to reorient to reality. I can't be talking about rivulets of.
Are you a cannibal?
I'm not a cannibal, man. I promise you.
Do you just want to eat people?
I haven't been that severely changed by spending a couple of weeks in Europe. I promise.
Okay. You know, we need to smoke bomb this motherfucker. What number are we doing? Holy shit. We're doing an old one. 3. We're doing number 3. And the worst part about this is it's on topic. We haven't changed it up. We're sticking with this shit. You can only eat one item of food forever. You can't spice it up, but you can serve it in different ways. Is it people, okay. Connor? Are you just eating people forever?
It's not people. Although you would get a lot of different cuts of meat.
You can make blood sausage with the blood.
I
guess people at the same point, it's just people are just like cow or pig. It is just we got bad energy today.
Yeah,
this
okay.
Is a bad podcast.
All right, bringing it back. Okay, food forever. You can serve it different ways.
Yes, but you can't spice it up. I don't know what that means.
Can't spice it up.
No clarifying questions. I don't know what I meant when I wrote that. This was written like 8 years ago.
Can't spice it up though. Okay, but you can.
We've been asking this one since college. Maybe
what
a decade.
This riddle? This riddle of a question.
What fucking sphinx of a past Evan created this?
All right, past Evan. I'm gonna go with potatoes.
I knew it, you fucking Irish man.
Because I'm gonna
talk about the nutrients, Connor. Talk about how it's the nutrient dense one.
It is.
Let me hear it for the 16th time in my life.
It's nutritionally complete, except for calcium. But if you eat nothing but potatoes forever, you'll be perfectly healthy, except for your bones, and probably other parts of your body, which also need calcium. And potatoes are great. You can serve them so many different ways. French fries, baked potatoes, twice baked potatoes, potato chips, etc. And as long as I'm not adding spices to it, which I usually don't crave around a potato, I guess I'm meeting the criteria of this arcane question from so long ago.
The trouble with that is potatoes is the correct answer, so I have no idea what I'm going to say to this. So let's talk more about potatoes. What would be your main go-to form of potatoes in this iteration? Because like while we have the width and breadth of food and flavors at this juncture, like we always go back to our comfort foods. Mm-hmm. Like what will be your comfort potato?
My comfort potato will be a twice baked potato. I think it'd be a twice baked potato. That takes more time and effort to bake the potato, scoop all the stuff out, doctor it up, put it back in the oven. I think my standard potato would be the baked potato because that's like the most solid.
Stab it with a fork, throw it in the microwave.
Yeah, nice and simple, and it just feels like as close as potatoes get to like meat, like substantive, heavy kind of a thing.
You got the skin.
The skin. That's really what does it.
Because you get the fluff of the potato and then you get the chew of the skin.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't even need to cut it up or smush it or just like eat it like an apple. If you're a potato for the rest of your life person, to just feel like solid chomp.
Yeah.
Potato. And
Nightshade.
They all taste great. They all take salt really well.
Yep.
And that's important. I don't have spices anymore.
Yeah.
I do have salt.
I don't know what the fuck I mean by spice it up. I that language is so specific where I'm like, I'm sure I meant you can add spices to it, but like, this is definitely the phrasing of, you can't. Mine would be bread. Could make a lot of different breads.
There's lots of bread out there.
I would have variety of breads. So,
and depending on how you want to frame the question, you can always add anything to a sandwich and just be like, oh, is there stuff in between those slices of bread? My mistake. I was just trying to eat the bread because that's the rule that I've set for my life.
I feel like adding meat to a bread sandwich is at the point of spicing something up in the cryptic zoology of this question.
I guess you can't just be like, oh man, oh gosh, too bad I can only eat bread for the rest of my life. Oh well, I guess I'll just put this rotisserie chicken between two slices of bread and have a rotisserie chicken sandwich.
Yeah, right?
Whoops.
Chomp on them bones. But yeah, no, because you can make fancy loaves, you can make straight up white bread, you can do like quick breads, you can do like biscuity desserty things. I think breads is the secret.
Breads is pretty good. I think depending on how far you want to stretch it, muffins, right? Those are bread.
They're bready. I feel like my weird definition of it would not allow that. It's a vibes based question and it feels wrong. I don't know what to tell you two listeners. It's in the fucking like tagline of this thing. The smartest questions from the dumbest dude. We are. If you thought we're not dumb, we're fucking proving it today. Doggy.
I just see Evan 6 months into his bread only life with a pile of flour and getting the bread together and a handful of blueberries and going, no, this is a spice.
No, that's a blueberry bread.
Blueberries are a spice.
It's not a muffin. It's a blueberry bread. There's a difference.
Oh, okay.
It's like, is cinnamon raisin bread a muffin, Connor?
So now the muffin tin is it
might be the form factor. I don't know. But I feel like a biscuit counts as a bread. I don't know. Vibes-based question.
Biscuits are bread, for sure. No doubt.
I love that we're having this specific argument about muffin, and I'm going to make the joke of like, oh, we can also say sweetbreads, which are just fucking organs. It's got bread in the title. What do you want from me?
Fuck.
I'm out of focus. I'm in focus. Well, there went the podcast.
Oh, well. We had a good run, folks.
It was a good time. We had a blast.
Didn't realize we had a time bomb sitting on number 3 this whole time,
yeah, right?
just waiting to get plucked.
Everything's bad. All right. Oh, sweet. Question number 27. This one's a fun one. And I argued with Leah about it because she's like, oh, no, it's just this thing. Like, no, it's not. There's a difference. No judgment zone. What's your petty gripe about others? Because Leah said that this was a pet peeve. I'm like, no, that is very different than a pet peeve.
Yeah, okay. So this is my understanding. Pet peeve is something like, man, that really bugs me when other people do that. But usually most people are like, yeah, it's a little annoying. It doesn't bother me that much. But a petty gripe is much more personal. That's more like, this is something that nobody else cares about, but it drives me insane.
Yes. And I don't know what current Evan's answer to that is, but it's going to be past Evan's answer because every time I see this question, I think of what spurred it. And it's when people wear gloves while lifting. Get fucking calluses on your hand. It's what do you need your hands for that importantly? I am a hands focused person. My job is typing. My hobbies are fine dexterity things. I can have calluses on my hand. I'm not. What are you doing in your life that can't take a little bit of roughness? Oh no, the Connor's favorite word of knurling hurts a little bit.
Knurling.
Get some calluses. Just grab the fucking bar and use it. Why do you need $30 Velcro gloves? You don't need better grip like a baseball person. The knurling's taking care of that.
That's what the knurling's
You know
there
how many
for, baby.
times my hands have slipped off of a exercise item because I haven't worn gloves? Zero.
Never.
Why do you need them? You look silly. Just take them off. Your body is designed to handle this kind of thing.
Literally
Why are
handle.
you limiting your body? You are there to improve your body. Why are you limiting your body's improvement? Because this is not a pet peeve. This is a petty gripe.
It's a petty gripe. Yeah, it's not something you couldn't sit in front of a judge and be like, I have a good reason to feel this way. Let me explain it to you.
No. My response is fuck you. That's why. I have no better response than that. Just take off your gloves.
I still have 2 calluses. I haven't done any weightlifting in like 4 years or something, probably longer. And I all of my calluses are gone except for the ones underneath my ring fingers on both of my hands. I don't know why they refuse to go away. Maybe it's something about wearing rings that like recalluses them or something. I'm not sure.
I think it's a sign that you need to just start exercising again because lifting's fun.
Yeah. And
I can't lift, and I need to live vicariously through you, Connor. You are also a scrawny, tall man.
I'll just be your champion for lifting.
Please be stronger than me until my back gets better, and then I can beat you.
My petty gripe is the apology that just doesn't need to be said. I just don't want anybody to ever say sorry if they're not apologizing. I hate it when people say like, here's a controversial opinion. Sorry, but it's just not what that word is for. I like the nervous sorry of like needing to get past somebody and like, ooh, sorry. It's like, excuse me. We've got one for that. It's all in that polite category of thank you, you're welcome, and there's excuse me. There it is. You just go forward. You don't need anybody's forgiveness. You just don't be sorry.
Yeah, my response to that is always there's nothing to apologize for.
Yeah.
So my question for this one though is, does this include the like I'm in a fight with you right now of like, oh, I'm sorry?
Yes, it does. Yeah. Absolutely. It's just a nonsense phrase that it's all sizzle, no steak. It's just a way of saying, I just need you to be okay with whatever I'm doing right now. And it sucks to be you, I guess, because that's how it's going to be. It's like the exact opposite of what sorry is for.
Okay.
Well, I'm sorry, but, and it's yeah, no, it just puts a layer between you and what's actually going on. It just makes every conversation 20% less real.
I like how your petty gripe is just like own up to yourself, because like there's the positive of like, hey, you're a person and you matter too. You don't need to apologize for walking or shopping at a grocery store. Like you can get those kicks as much as I can, versus the just admit you're an asshole. Like you don't need to apologize. You're just gonna be a dick anyway.
Just do it. Just you're not helping anybody.
Like, I'm already thinking less of you because you're unnecessarily apologizing. Just like give me the actual reason to think less of you.
Yeah.
Because this is just a double whammy at this point.
Yeah, it's one. You're perfectly acceptable, and you have no reason to ask anybody to let you go, or like to say that you're not doing it. You don't need to account for yourself. You're just existing in the same space that I am. Just go forward with confidence that you deserve a place in society. Or just be an asshole. Just do it. Don't pretend that you're not being one, or like you can throw this phrase out there to make it feel a little bit better for everybody.
Yeah.
Just be who you are. Just be who you are. Unless you have something that you're actually sorry about, in which case, please say that you're sorry. That's good. That's great. That's good. Growth.
Yeah.
Save it for those times.
I'm glad that we've actually gotten this question and we've gotten to talk about it, because I've learned that the difference between a pet peeve and a petty gripe is the amount of anger that comes out of the person when they're talking about it. Because like a pet peeve, it's like, it bugs me when people say, "Oh, I'm gonna let you go." It's like, well, I'm talking to you right now. Like I'm not doing anything. You just want to get off the phone. It's like, just
like one of my pet peeves: people interrupting you while you're trying to read, or when you're obviously in the middle of something, and they interrupt you several times in a row, and that's obviously annoying for 100 different reasons.
I do that to Leah all the time.
But if somebody interrupts you and says, "Oh, sorry," but you're not sorry. You're interrupting me. And if you were sorry, you wouldn't be doing it. You can be sorry later when you've figured out what you've done wrong. But right now, you're just interrupting me.
See, when I do that and I realize that I've bugged him, I will say sorry. And then I'll make to leave and she'll go, "I'm already stopped. What's up?" So I think that's a difference.
It is. It's very different. If you're sorry and you want to change your behavior, if like, "Oh, sorry, never mind." Like, "Oh, I didn't realize."
The thing that comes with being sorry for something.
The only part that matters.
I'm so glad to have this understanding. To listeners, I know this podcast is for y'all, but it's also for us, because I just grew as a person today. I understand myself better now. Also, this podcast is for me, and you can't change that fact. I'm having fun.
And I know that I should never, ever show up to the gym with Evan with those silly little gloves. That's something if like someone had them for me, I'd be like, "Oh, okay, I'll wear them." But now I know that Evan will have a visceral response.
Like, there's chalk. You can use chalk. You know what that does? It just wicks away the moisture on your palms so you have a better grip.
If you need it.
What's the new urban legend you're sowing among the masses?
Oh, this is okay. I like this because there are already so many out there, and I in my mind they range from like the hook-handed person, like the ghost story kind of presentation, to things like the you swallow so many spiders each year.
Ooh, yeah.
So it's nice and broad. Another what I've recently started to this might actually be a petty gripe actually now that we're on that topic. It really bothers me when people tell me or just say like, "Oh, that's not hydrating." The only liquid that you can drink that I'm aware of that isn't hydrating is beer, and anything more alcoholic than that. But when people are like, "Oh, yeah, but that coffee's not going to hydrate you," yeah, it fucking is, because it's mostly water.
It's just also a diuretic, so it causes you to evacuate the water that you've put in.
But on average, still more hydrating than not. It doesn't dehydrate you. Maybe not as hydrating. This is something, it drives me nuts, dude. Alita insists that seltzer doesn't hydrate you.
Yes, it does. I'm sorry, my dude. My mom drinks nothing but seltzer.
And it's Just water with bubbles.
It's just carbonated water with a little bit of flavors. Also, like not to be elitist, but one of the nicest things about being on the East Coast again is polar seltzer.
Oh, we've got polar seltzer out here.
No,
dude.
you don't. You don't got the right ones. You don't get the bottles. You
Oh,
get
that's a fact.
eight packs of the most popular flavors, or also known as the most basic flavors, and like
Are
you
you
don't
coming
get
at my orange vanilla right now?
dude. I love orange vanilla, but you don't get cranberry clementine, and that one's my favorite.
Oh, that's wild.
It's
Oh,
so
okay.
good. It's so
All right.
good.
Well, I'm
But yeah,
glad
no,
you're getting your specific bubbly water.
yeah. Oh man, we got to do the fall and the winter flavors already. I'm just really excited to be drinking seltzer again, because like polar was too expensive out on the West Coast, and they didn't have the right flavors. And there's something about the bottles. There's just something about the 1 liter bottles of polar that's just right. Also, while we're on the topic, one of my favorite things to think about is how Leah pointed out one day. So Diego is obsessed with bottle caps, and he grew up playing with polar bottle caps. So Leah one day realized that to Diego, seltzer smells like bottle caps.
Huh. And he loves seltzer?
Well, yeah, no, he loves the bottle caps, but no, but think about it. Like the polar bottle caps smell like seltzer to us because our correlation is with the drink, whereas Diego's is with the bottle cap.
I see. I haven't been smelling a lot of bottle caps lately.
It's because you don't get them. You got the cans, bud.
That's true. But I'm trying to think. Do I think I might have something lodged in my brain associated with the smell of a bottle cap on top of a seltzer. Okay. Urban myth.
Urban myth.
To bring it back to center. I'm glad you're getting your bubbly water. And yeah, I would say different things don't hydrate you is a petty gripe, but also an urban myth. I might need to workshop this a little bit with you here,
Yeah.
because I want an urban myth to do some good in the world and scare people from sending unsolicited dick pics. And it's a tight needle to thread, because at first I was thinking like, oh, it's like how there's an urban myth you can't stay in front of a microwave while it's working or else it'll give you cancer. And
Okay,
that's a problem that's been solved.
So you want to send anti-chain mail messages. If you don't send your dick pic to 6 women who definitely don't want it, your penis won't fall off.
No. Wait. There's too many negatives. I want to scare people from sending unsolicited dick pics. In in the style of, if you masturbate too much, you'll get hairy palms, like that kind of a thing. Like, I want some sort of health hazard to be attached to unsolicited dick pics. And
oh my god.
That's doable if you're like, well, phone cameras have a certain wavelength that will shrink your dick that you shouldn't be sending pictures of to other people. But then it's like, but then there are lots of people in sex work, and you can't just be like,
yeah,
well, so they're all gonna be harmed by their cameras or something.
You have just tanked OnlyFans stock.
Yeah.
So I'm going from the angle of like a modern day, like Jack the Ripper, like whack the picker.
Okay.
Or just like, instead of like a dude killing prostitutes, it's just a dude killing unsolicited dick pic senders.
That's good. That's good. Oh yeah, there's like a dark web service. Oh, and so this is good. I like this. If you've ever seen people just get pictures online and like need and figure out just based on what they can find in the background where that person is, and it
Yeah.
tend to be
Yeah. Sorry.
pretty bizarrely accurate,
Yep.
assuming that that's all real and not just people making shit up,
Or like the
Sherlock
weird,
Holmes style.
like the weird foot fetish people who figured out that picture wasn't the AOC.
Oh, I didn't know
Oh yeah,
that happened.
yeah. No, like there was like a thing years ago where it's like AOC nude, where like she was like naked in the bath or whatever, but like foot fetish people were like, that's not her feet, and they proved how it's not her feet, and that it was just a hoax.
Not all heroes wear capes, I guess. Okay. No. Yeah. So sort of like that, but more like you just have a random picture of somebody at a park, and then based on just like a piece of a car's fender in the background and the variety of tree and where the sun is angling in from, you can figure out like, oh, that was in that was a park in Monaco.
GeoGuessers.
There. Oh, great. Yes.
Yeah, Leah just started doing that shit.
That she's geoguessing. She's doing the I'm gonna figure out where you live based on a picture that you took.
It's like a game on the internet, not like where people live, but just like, hey, here's a spot on Google Maps. Where are you?
Ah, cool. Okay, so that except the Whack the Ripper who will come and kill you. You just send these unsolicited dick pics to this dark web figure, and eventually they'll find you and end you. That's got some campfire story appeal, I think. Is it kind of like Bloody Mary at that point? It's more like, ooh, watch out, but not actually going to stop anybody from doing anything.
Yeah, but it's also going to make a really, really fun supernatural porno spoof.
Awesome. That's what I'm going with.
I like where your heart's at. Your head's not entirely there, I don't think, but your heart's in the right place.
Cool. I'll take it. How about you? You got a conspiracy theory ready to go? Or do we need to talk about seltzer for a little longer?
Urban legends and conspiracy theories are entirely different.
That's true. That's a good point.
I know for a fact there's a question on here of like, what conspiracy theory would you start or did you start? So like these are different questions, my dude.
You're right.
That being said, I don't have any answers, so we're gonna just shoot from the hip and just watch me miss the broadside of a barn. Man, I was gonna say something like, did you know that like Cybertrucks just spontaneously combust? But they definitely do. So that's not an urban legend. That's just fact.
I haven't heard that on the grand list of problems that Cybertrucks have, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Yet.
Okay, let's see.
What new urban legend do I want spread around? You know, I'm gonna go back to Playground Ones, and I'm gonna say that I'm gonna just bring back like like if you want to increase your catch rate in Pokemon, you gotta like press B when it's shaking on the third one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say that like there are still secret characters in video games. Like you just need to work really hard to unlock them.
Those were always crazy. I remember there being a lot of theories going around about how to get Solid Snake in Super Smash Brothers for the N64. Yeah. And it was always like, well, if you do it as difficult of a possibility on every mode with every single character, then eventually you get bonus character. And like there were internet screenshots that were just the absolute worst Photoshop of all time. And you're like, man, that would be cool. Gosh, maybe I should try it. And it's just too hard and you give up and you're like, I guess I'm not good enough for that character.
Yeah, so like the one for me is in Legend of Legaia, all of the characters get their own like signature weapon. Vaughn's it's called, so it's Vaughn's Fist, Noah Farrell, and Gala Mace, I think. So Vaughn's is literally just these hands. I don't need no weapon. It's just these hands. Noah's is just a fucking bird, just like a hunting bird on her hand, and Gala's is a mace. But the trouble with those is you get them wicked early in the game, and they don't scale or anything, and there's no update to them. But on the internet, I saw that they had one where it's Meta Fist, Terra Feral, and Ozma Mace. So it's the Roseru version of their unique thing, which was like the ultimate weapon. Like, that's so fucking cool. Like, I want shit like that. I want to say stuff like that's in video games again. So like, what game have I played recently that doesn't have something like that, but could? Sorry, I just bonked the thing. It's like, did you know that you can play as Nasty Nork in the new Spyro Reignited trilogy? You need to beat the game on all, like, as every color of Spyro 100% in 24 hours or whatever, like something like that, and then like stuff that you can't, like, I know you can break with code nowadays because everybody's so fucking smart and knows how to rip everything from it. But I want that whimsy back. I want like secret game characters and unlocks by doing ridiculous things. Because like, hey, did you know that you can get Mew under the truck in wherever Lieutenant Surge is, where the SS Ann parks?
Sorry, Vermilion
City.
There you go. I do like that. I wish it would be cool if there would be more video game developers who would just leave random strings of code that you're never quite sure exactly what they're there for. Like there's some hidden feature that never quite fully gets explained, or it just takes like a few months even. Maybe just like long enough for everybody to fully crack the code to give some space for those kinds of theories.
Yeah. Because like I know there's games like I bought, played, and beat Animal Well the other week. It's a very fun puzzle platformer Metroidvania. But one of the things with it is like, I don't know what ARG stands for, but it's one of those things where you got to like get people in real life to collaborate to figure out the puzzle in the game. It's like, that's like, I get like that's the spirit. I guess that is the modern day version of these things, but I like it when it's an individual, when you can unlock secret things. Like I still think of playing Tekken 1, where if you beat the King of the Iron Fist tournament with each character, you will unlock a unique fighter for each character that you beat the game as. Like that was the coolest shit as a kid. And their pictures never showed up on the roster. You just kept pressing right and you just kept getting new motherfuckers to punch. It was the coolest fucking thing. And like, I miss cheat codes. It's all like, oh, you want 10,000 gold? Here's a $2 microtransaction. Or what if I press up, up, down, down, X, X, square, triangle, R2, R1, R2, R1, start, select. Like, I remember playing Ratchet and Clank and fucking doing the big head cheat code where you had to literally like wall kick like 8 times in a row and then wrench slam, and then Ratchet's head ballooned. Like that was so fun.
It felt like, I remember before I discovered like game facts and different cheat code websites, that how valuable it felt to have those things. It felt like a real secret, and a lot of the time like something you had discovered that you could share with people that you like, so that only you and those people maybe have that secret little extra thing.
Yeah, and like even the game facts is like feels permissible to me just because of like, it's just a little extra because it's still something you have to do even if it's inputting a code. And I guess the code nowadays is hitting pay now on PayPal, but like that's not fun. That's
No.
not fun for me, dog.
No. So who's Gorkin the Orc that you get to play as in the Spyro game for your new urban myth?
Nasty
Urban
Mork.
legend.
He's the boss of the first game.
Nice.
You should play Spyro. It's on the emulator I gave you.
Good to know.
All right, let's wrap this shit up. Ooh, oh. Okay, man, it did not want number 86. It rolled all the way back up to number 2.
All right. We're not knocking those early ones out of the park today, but let's have it.
No, but it's good that we're actually finally doing them. I didn't know that we'd ever be doing them. In a moneyless society, what is your currency of choice?
Friendship, I guess.
What the fuck? What a lame ass answer.
I'm sorry. Okay. No, I take. Yeah. No. You know what? Yeah. Your good name. I'm gonna go with your word, your social standing. That's the currency that you trade on.
So, Connor, what's it like being? Man, I don't want to use the language because it's just shitty encoded. I listen to Knowledge Fight, so in Alex Jones's world, the globalist, which is code for Jews, fun fact, is like they're creating a world with your social credit score, where like how good you are in the eyes of the one world government is how good of stuff you get. So Connor, what's it like being a globalist?
First off, pretty good because like we've got this stuff nobody has any idea, and Alex Jones is so off. He's barking up the wrong tree. He knows that we're out there, but he eats any bait that we give him all day. He just spreads misinformation about our actual plan, which is just to try to help people get along in the world a little better and for everyone to like have enough food to eat and consistent shelter and things. So he's sending everybody totally down the wrong path, which allows us unfettered access to the world.
You're not trying to kill 90% of the population so the elite can live and be superhumans because of the devil.
Yeah, no, that
also this fun fact, this is all orchestrated by the devil.
Oh yeah, no, that stuff also for sure. But the elite is not who you think it is.
Will the meek actually inherit the earth? Is the devil actually God?
Okay. moneyless society. I'm gonna say it just like your place in the community and the good deeds that you have done for other people and the things that you have given to other folks. Like that's what you trade on when you need something that you can't just make an equivalent exchange for.
Right.
That's what I'm going with.
I think that makes a lot of sense, and it feels like bartering, but not directly, because the sense that I'm getting from yours is it's more of like commune living as opposed to just like, hey, my little settlement has wheat. I would like to give you wheat for your gunpowder. Right. Where you're just like, hey man, I made a lot of wheat. Like, I don't have the skills to make a blanket. Can you make me a blanket, please?
Well, some of it is like that, but a lot of it is going to be like, hey, Tracy, I see your house burned down. I'll help you put it back together. And then a couple years later, Tracy's like, hey, Connor, I see that you have shitty clothes and I have some extras. Why don't you have that? And it's just like, you remember the good that people have done for you, and then you do it for them again later, or something like that.
Do you ever like get to ask for stuff of like, shit, man, I'm out of sugar?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, you'd be like hat in your hand and very, no problem. You got me eggs last week. Just like that kind of thing.
I like it. It's just, yours is just generosity. Yours makes a lot of sense as like why a moneyless society would exist.
It's only generosity for people who help and do good things. It's not, you don't just give and give and like it's not a giving tree society the way that I'm looking at it. If somebody never does anything for anybody else, eventually people stop giving them stuff and then they starve to death. That's probably not good. We probably got to get that in post. Yeah, rough draft.
Okay. Yeah, ignore the bad. I was liking the good. The good was a really fun, idyllic situation. Why do you have to bring reality into it, Connor? This is supposed to be a fun thought experiment.
Yeah, no, there's additional, like, I don't know. It's hard to tax everybody on their good name and like the good deeds they've done for other folks, but I think that kind of a society would breed more of a giving, let's all look out for each other. And you kind of keep track, but you don't keep really, really close track, like that kind of thing. Then at the end of the day, everybody's George Bailey, and it's like, sorry that your uncle left that $10,000 on the train. Have some of my dollars, except eggs and goods, because there's no money in this society.
All right, so yours feels good. I would, for my answer for this one, I've been thinking of like, in what state would a world be currency-less or money-less? And I'm thinking it's not post-apocalyptic, probably post-apocalyptic, in that like we don't really have entertainment. So my currency is how good of a yarn you can spin.
Storytelling.
So, yep. Like whether it's something you've experienced, or like a really funny joke, or just like man, I need a lot of cloth right now, so I'm gonna whip up a Tolkien-esque saga for this motherfucker right now and give him 2 hours of distraction. I think it feels very this podcast of like, hey, what's your thought to this prompt? How does your brain work when presented with this information? Entertain me.
I like it. I like, in this post-apocalyptic world, you roll up into somebody's campsite and they're like starting to get ready to put their nuclear possum stew together or whatever. And you're like, oh, could I have some of that? And they're like, well, if you make my life a little less boring for the next 3 hours while I skin this thing, sure, that'll be fine.
Yeah, I like stories. I'm entertained when I talk to people. I like the lives of strangers. I want to know. Tell me things.
Stories are important. And I also like that you have to be good at it. You can't just tell somebody, you can't just read off your grocery list to somebody for a couple of hours and still expect to have them darn your socks.
Yeah, like, I'll give you what it's worth, man. Fuck all. Unless I'm like, why the hell do you need that? Why are you weird? Now we're talking. So,
I like it too because it also encourages creativity and like putting your own personal spin on things, because you can tell other people's stories. Once someone's told you the story, you can tell your own version of it. But you got to do it a little bit different, because if someone's like, well, I've already heard that one. Or like, it's not really all that fresh to me. What else you got on the menu? Stories get better that way.
I mean, it's kind of how oral history's evolved.
Yeah. Yeah, changing things a little bit at a time and making things more interesting. And I like it. That sounds like, not a great world, because apparently we're post-apocalypse, but
I'm just assuming, like, because like, what's a world that has the internet and are like, hey, pay me in a story? It's like, dude, I've got fucking millions of hours of YouTube that are better than whatever you'll come up with.
I already have infinite stories, but thank you very much. Well, but you say that, but even now, people on YouTube doing pretty good a lot of the time.
That's
based
fair.
on their storytelling.
Even with all that, you and I are taking, regularly taking hours out of our lives to spin little stories to each other in the form of answers of questions.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all interaction at the end of the day. And I guess if you want to interact with us, you can do so on social media at the answer is a lemon. Connor?
Or send us an email with your questions at lemonanswers@gmail.com.
That is lemonanswers@gmail.com. Did you know that you're at the end of the podcast? You didn't need to listen this far, but you did, and we appreciate it.
And I'm not sorry.
Neither am I. I'm not wearing gloves. Fuck you. Weird energy, but ended up being fun for me. I hope it was fun for y'all. Love you, bye.